Hello guys, this is Vinita Kumar and you're watching me on Z Media. So in conversation today is someone who's here to tell us कि जब शक्ति, संपत्ति और सद्बुद्धि तीनों ही औरतें हैं तो इन मर्दों को किस बात का गुरूर. In conversation Alia Bhatt in and as Gangubai Kathiawadi. So Alia पहले तो
Totally
okay, so thank you for joining us Alia today.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations for Gangubai Kathiawadi. You have to tell me Alia, how empowering was for you to do this film, you know, the role and of course being a Bhansali heroine?
Yeah, well, I think firstly it is extremely empowering when a dream of yours comes true.
Yeah.
When a visionary like Sanjay Leela Bhansali himself has the vision for you, and when you're playing a character also which is so away from who you are and what you've seen or what you've experienced in life. There's so much scope for challenge, discovery,
Yeah.
growth, you know, performance, all of that. So I think the whole experience has been like, what is being empowering, where there's responsibility, where you have a certain where that it has a certain impact on you or you have a certain impact on it, and there's so much in terms of experience and exposure that I've had just through my characters that I possibly would have not had in my regular day-to-day life. I like how I'm calling it regular, but what I mean is out of my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So Gangubai is that kind of film, living this personality, playing her part and understanding the way she comes, like where she comes from, the way she feels, how she carries herself, was a huge learning for me.
Yeah. So Alia, you know, there's of course we all watched the trailer, we loved it. There's this scene in the trailer that particularly appealed to me where, you know, your character is like asking somebody that क्यों माँ का नाम काफी नहीं है, you know. So I wanted to ask you this from that very moment that, you know, in the industry where you know, you are there and you're just crawling up the ladder constantly, how do you sort of challenge this patriarchal setup through your craft or through who you are, you know, in the industry and otherwise in a society?
See, well, unfortunately, I can only challenge it through example and through actions, and the only way it will be challenged successfully is if there is something to support that. Like, I can't challenge and say I'll do a film by myself, and if the film doesn't do well, then I'm like, oh, that's pointless.
Yeah.
So it has to be in support and tandem with the audience. So, for example, when I've done a film like Razi and it does well at the box office, I get that confidence that I can speak about a film that way.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It has to be. It's a, you know, and there's a dual part to play. I can't play that part myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can have numerous debates on it to challenge patriarchy. But for some reason, I always believe people respond to example. They don't respond to dialogue.
Yeah,
You can speak about it all you want, but if you give them enough example, and they'll believe it then. So the way I do it is, I don't tolerate, of course, any sort of like sexism in any subtle way either. But by taking up challenging parts, by, you know, not playing a character which is extremely one-tonal and just there to just there as a, you know, something on the side. I think there is a lot of strong pivotal parts that women play on day-to-day lives, in people's lives, in their own lives, in the contribution of society, and I will always, as an actor and as a person, want to represent a woman like that on screen.
Mm-hmm. Right, Alia, lovely that you answered that. Alia, you went to Berlin and, you know, you spoke about how you auditioned for SLB and you were 9 then. I wanted to ask you, did you audition for this film and how did that happen, and did you of course then tell Mr. Bhansali that, you know, you're the same girl who did that and now okay, you've selected me?
Well, I think before I worked with Sir, my many films that I had done on screen became my audition for him.
Yeah.
He's very instinctive that way. He sees something and he'll say, "Wo acha hai," and that is very nice. And he'll pick up on it and then he'll take that as his base. Yeah. So that's what happened. I think he saw a certain something in me which he felt I'll be able to bring out the intensity of the character that he's looking for. He wanted this the dichotomy of the softness on the face but the hardness on the inside that the journey does to her. And I think there were many moments on set where he was very moved and taken in by the amount that I was able to grasp what he was trying to say to me, which doesn't always happen with any actor director. Even I was very, sort of impressed with our synergy.
Yeah.
There was a very solid synergy that I feel has resulted in the character being what it is on screen.
Yeah, okay. So Alia, time for you to blush. This is about Ranbir. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, Alia, you recently said in one of your interviews, "Pyar kiya to darna kya." That was just apparently that was the thing that I strongly remembered. Now, I want to ask you, as an actor or as a woman, are you in that safe and comfortable space where you have and where you can comfortably do this Elane Mohabbat? Are you in that comfortable zone?
I think there comes a time in your life where you don't care enough to pretend. I think that's the point I've reached in my life, where I don't care to give a covering up intelligent answer. I have no interest. It is what it is, and I'm very, like I said, I'm in a very good, happy, safe place in my relationship, and I don't find the need to be all coy about it anymore. There's a time period that you go through where sometimes you don't want to talk about things, and I went through that time as well.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'm just not going through that time right now. And to be very honest, I don't think any of these, and with no offense to these interviews, but I don't think they really matter. There's a lot of forgetting. So why am I going through that effort and energy of trying to cover something up? I don't need to do it. So it is what it is. Like I said, I'm deeply in love. Pyar kiya to darna kya, and yeah, I'm very happy and I'm very safe.
Okay, Alia, एक बहुत एक सिंक और एक कॉमन एनर्जी है आप में और रणबीर में when it comes to profession, and that's a personal observation, and in fact I told this to Ranbir also, that when it comes to selecting and choosing the films, while you both of you did this glamorous and big budget movies, you eventually went on to select something that was quite different and quite unexpected. Honestly, you did Urta Punjab and you did Highway back then, and Ranbir, for that matter, was was pretty comfortable being vulnerable on screen. Like, I don't see a lot of actors tearing just themselves apart. He's happy shedding tears on screen. So does that is that a conscious, or somewhere have you guys discussed that this is, we want to challenge ourselves in that way? How is that professional collaboration like?
I don't think we even discuss why we need to challenge or how we need to challenge. It's just an instinctive decision that you first take for yourself, and of course we totally discuss with each other what our feelings and thoughts are, but as we would do, even I would do that even with Ayan, somebody whose movie mind I trust, who I have a nice it's like you become like a bouncing board for each other, but eventually it's always an actor's instinct that makes you do something, no matter what anybody says. And I think in terms of performers and actors, I think Ranbir coming from a huge film lineage with his father, mother, grandfather, uncles, everyone's sisters, cousins, everybody being a part of the film industry, everyone has really done their bit and explored their own arena. Right. Similarly, I also come from a family that has done again their own thing in their own space, succeeded at it, failed at it, and done their best. The point is, if you don't try, you will never know. And I think eventually it comes down to that unless you don't experience the ability that you have or the disability that you have to what you can put together on screen, you will never know what really works for you. And then you may decide to do one kind of film or one particular kind of genre or a genre or two. But until you don't try, you won't know it. And I think it all comes down to being a bit fearless.
Yeah.
And not really bothering so much about what the world will think of you.
Yeah. And as an actor, I think that's a very mature space to be in, Alia, Okay, so Alia, 10 saal to hone hi wale hain, of course, everybody's been telling you this. Now I want to know this from you. Is this where you saw yourself when you had started? Like, after 10 years or after 12 years, this is where I would be. How was the map for you like?
I don't know if I thought 10 years ahead.
Yeah.
It is definitely, it is like, I can definitely say that I've come a hard way, like, and a long way into the industry from when I've started. And the reason I say that is only because of the amount of hours of work that I've put in. I think that's something that I can say very openly, that the number of days and the number of hours and the hard work that has gone into shaping my career for whatever it is today, whether it's good, bad, ugly, it's gone, a lot of hard work has gone into it. So that's something that I feel is the only thing that you can do. You can put in the work, and then whatever the results are, they happen. But it won't happen without putting the work in. So whatever work I put in, I think for that it's not a bad place to be in.
So nice, Alia. Congratulations for that again, you know, completing 10 years. Alia, there's this video of a little girl that is going viral.
Yes,
Yes. I hope you've seen it.
I did.
I want to understand from you, do you find anything wrong with it? Or it going viral?
It's a good question. Well, I thought it was very cute, and I'm assuming that it's not done without the supervision of an elder. So if the elder, that is hopefully her mother or father or sister or loved one, is okay with it, then I don't think we should have any issues with it as people.
So nice, Alia. Thank you. Thank you for just putting that straight.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so coming back to Gangubai, what was the toughest, like extremely tough part of playing Gangu on screen, you know? Like, you know, keep aside everything, you know, as being SLB heroine or being on the set, being on these giant sets, Corona, you know, the way that happened. What was the toughest part?
I think the fact that my face and the hardness of the experience and the journey are not really something that it's like yin and yang, two sides of a coin. So one would imagine that, oh, how can, you know, she is just a simple face, how can she have this sort of hard experience? But the truth is, life doesn't choose your hardness of experiences based on the way you look. A cute face could also have really hard experiences. So what I needed to portray was a lot of strength internally. Whatever the look does externally, I can't beyond a point change the way I look. But what I can do is change body language, demeanor, and understanding and abandon, which is very rough, which is very crass, which is very like take it or leave it. Now that's upbringing that I have not had. As an actor also, I have to be constantly proper, politically correct, not say too much, say a bit little. This is my training as a person, and I have to kind of have my box up. For this film, my box had to be totally down and I had to be swimming in some mud path. But it was so liberating. While it was challenging, it was also so liberating to do that there's no boundaries. You can just be however you want because there's nothing to lose. And if somebody says something to you, you question that person because then there's nothing to lose. So that's something that I found most challenging in terms of the style and the andaz with which she needed to speak and the way she would talk to people. I was like, okay, either it will be amazing or it's going to be a complete comedy. So at least I need to give it my 100% and see the way it goes.
Yeah, so like being liberating was actually the toughest part for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So Alia, what is your defense mechanism like, you know, when you just put yourself out there completely, but then you also have to take care of, you know, things pulling you back because of your training, as you mentioned, you know. So what is your defense mechanism like, and does it change with every film and every role you do?
I think what I enjoy most also about being an actor is that in front of the camera, when I'm playing that character, I am that character. So I almost live vicariously through the character. And then I go back to my life. And my life is not what you see in interviews and all. Of course, that's a part of, because you're asking me a question, and if the conversation is going well, then I'll respond to you with heart. Otherwise, I have a very generic vibe also even in interviews when I feel like the conversation is just the same.
Yeah.
But otherwise, in terms of playing parts and characters, I give it my all only because I think that's what I enjoy most about my job, is that I can live such different lives and I can live it deeply and totally understand it. So there nothing is holding me back. But yeah, personally, interacting and stuff, I have to be held back a little bit because honestly, I rather not go back home and have extra chatter about the way, what I'm saying and the way I'm behaving. So I try and keep it as, in general, as a human being, I believe kindness is the way to go. I think the world is just much nicer when it's a kinder place. So I don't say anything if I don't have anything nice to say. And And yeah, I think that's a demeanor that I think in general sometimes can be a bit weighing down, because you have to always be very positive and happy, which is hard because we are people. We have bad days, good days, all of that. But that's something that I have to put an effort for, but I'm happy to do that, because bringing a smile on other people's faces is a way better feeling than bringing a frown.
So congratulations, Alia, again
Thank you.
for this and for the person that you've become, for the actor that you've become in 10 years.
Thank you.
We wish you the best
Thank
and
you.
all the best for Gangubai Kathiawadi. Before we leave, we have this dholera to do with us.
We have this dodi now. Okay, chalo,
Chalo, please.